Swift Day.
It is ThickChickVlogs. I wanted to come in here today and I wanted to talk about this Ebola situation that has entered U.S. soil. If you guys don't know what Ebola is a very, very deadly disease that has a 90% fatality rate, okay? It has not been proven whether or not Ebola is an airborne disease. They are saying as of right now it is not an airborne disease. However, you can contract Ebola through very close skin contact, which means, you know, simply touching a person, sweat and things like that. What's making me kind of suspicious about this situation is because, well, first let me start from the beginning. There is an American doctor who went over to Africa doing humanitarian acts. He wanted to go over there and he wanted to help a lot of the African people who are suffering with Ebola. He took, I want to say it was his assistant or something like that that went with him, if I'm not mistaken. And they took all of the preventative measures to keep from contracting this disease, which means wearing the hazmat suits and, you know, not coming in contact with the bodily fluids and all this type of stuff. Yet and still, they still contracted this disease, which makes me a little afraid, okay? And I'm going to explain why I'm afraid. If they took all of these preventative measures to keep them from contracting this disease, how did they contract it? And what they did was very selfless, as my girl Much Love from Kentucky said. It was very selfless for them to want to go over there and want to help, you know, people get better over there in Africa. However, what I want to say, what I'm concerned about, is the fact that this disease has killed almost 1,000 people within the last couple of months over in Africa. Plus, there was a scare in, was it Japan? I want to say, I was watching a video. I want to say it was Japan. I'm not really sure, but it was a huge scare in Japan or something like that. Another thing that's really suspicious to me is, I don't know how smart it is to affect or run the risk of affecting the lives of thousands and millions of people here in the United States to save the lives of two. And I know that sounds mean. However, I'm going to explain what I'm saying. All of the resources that we have here in America, to the doctors and things that want to, you know, help these two American people who went over to Africa to help the Africans with the Ebola outbreak over there. The same way that they spent millions of dollars in taxpayers' money to fly these two people over here. Well, actually, the doctor's here now, but the lady, she's supposed to come, I think they said within the next couple of days. The same amount of money that you spent to fly them over here, you could have used that same amount of money to get the resources from America to fly it over to Africa where they were. I feel like, you know, the virus, because it's so deadly. I mean, it literally, if this thing gets out, it's liable to wipe out hundreds of thousands of people, because it's literally just that deadly. As I said, it has a 90% fatality rate. Now, I don't want anybody to think that what I'm saying is I don't want them to help these people. That is definitely not what I'm saying. What I am saying is I don't think it was very smart to bring two people over here and affect the lives, or run the risk of affecting the lives of hundreds of thousands of millions of people to save the lives of two, when you could have got those resources, took them over to Africa and helped those people over there, as well as help the Africans that are going through this outbreak of the Ebola virus. Another thing, like I said in the beginning, it has not been proven that this particular virus is airborne. But let me say this. The fact that the doctor and his assistant took all of the preventative measures to keep from contracting this virus, and they still got it, makes me kind of suspicious. simply because if they're wearing hazmat suits and things like that and they're still contracting this disease, it has to be a little bit more to it than you simply coming in contact with their bodily fluids and things like that. It had to come from someone coughing maybe or something. Or maybe it is airborne. Like I said, they said it hasn't been proven yet that it's airborne, but it is a possibility that in the near future, it can become airborne. Another thing, the CDC, when they brought this person over here, they have them, if I'm not mistaken, it's Emory Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia, and the CDC is supposed to be controlling the situation. They're supposedly having these people in a separate wing of the hospital where it's completely contained off from all of the other patients. Now, when they brought them over here, they had, like I said, it was an airplane or jet or whatever it was, and it was encased in like some kind of plastic to keep the people that were on the plane, as well as, you know, I guess to keep it from getting in the air. I'm not really sure, but it was encased. He was like in like a little plastic jail of sorts, kind of like an incubator for adults to keep the virus contained in that incubator. The thing is with this disease, which like I said, is very deadly. They actually have a protocol in certain places where you have a disease that's so deadly that can affect so many people and it can kill so many people. They have those types of situations where they're supposed to keep those people literally underground, like in an underground basement of sorts. And it's supposed to be literally contained, away from everyone. Okay. It's supposed to be in an underground location. And if that virus or whatever just so happens to get out, it's a button they're supposed to be able to hit. And it's supposed to be able to set that whole motherfucker on fire. Okay. So literally it cannot affect anyone else outside of that contained area, because like I said, it's so deadly. And another thing that has me kind of, you know, standoffish is the fact that not using this as a race thing, but it's kind of peculiar to me that there was 2 African Americans that were over in Africa. This guy, I know this, if I'm not mistaken, I read the story about the guy who was over there. He went over there, he had a meeting or something to go to in Africa, some type of meeting. I'm not really sure what his business is or whatever, what the reason why he was over there, but I know it had something to do with a meeting of sorts. He went over to Africa and he had another meeting to go to in Nigeria before he was supposed to fly back to the United States, to Texas. Okay. He fell ill before he flew to Nigeria. He flew to Nigeria and that's when he found out that he was sick. Okay. I guess he went to the hospital or whatever and they found out that it was Ebola. When they found out it was Ebola, they said, no, nigga, you can't carry your ass back across these damn, you can't carry your ass back over there to the United States. They made this man stay over in Africa until he died, okay? Because the shit is just that damn serious. And what people are worried about is the fact that, and this same CDC who claims that they're so in control of this disease is the same CDC that was so in control of anthrax, but they ended up having an outbreak of anthrax within the CDC where 30 or 40 employees were infected with this. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a huge germaphobe, okay? I'm a huge germaphobe, and my thing is this: if those 2 American people who went over to Africa and they took all the preventative measures that they could possibly take to prevent them from getting this disease and they still caught it, what on fucking earth makes these people believe that they can get it here and they can contain it with having all of these workers helping these people and not run the risk of contracting it? I totally understand. I totally get the fact that they want to help these people. I totally understand that. And I'm all for that. But why not help them contain the disease where it is instead of flying these people over here to America and running the risk of infecting hundreds of thousands of millions of people? Because somebody can be in Atlanta at the hospital visiting a family member and they live in California. They can get on an airplane with someone who's from New York and they go to California, and the person that they walk past in California is from Arizona. You know, it's just a whole lot of, you know, things that could happen with this situation. I know they're telling people, do not be worried, do not be scared, because it is all under control and this is not an airborne disease. as of yet. However, it has not been proven that it is not a possibility that this can become an airborne disease to where it can affect a whole lot of Americans. And like I said, I'm not trying to fearmonger anyone. But however, this is one of those types of situations as to where if it does turn out like the anthrax situations where they said they have it under control, but it ends up getting out some type of way, one of the nurses or one of the doctors or something like that, they go home to one of their family members get sick, and their family member goes to school or work and they get someone sick. And you know, it's just a continuous cycle. And like I said, this particular disease has a 90% fatality rate, which means out of 100% of people, 90% of those people will die. There is no vaccine as of right now for this disease. It's incurable. You're either going to get better or you're going to get worse and you're going to die. There's no in between. Now, they did say they gave this doctor, like I said, the lady isn't over here yet. They did say they gave the doctor some type of serum and he's improving. They didn't say he's doing, but they say he's improving slightly because they gave him some type of serum. They did say some type of vaccine is supposed to be available within 28 days, which I don't really understand. That shit sound like some type of movie to me. Y'all ever seen that movie 28 Days Later? That shit kind of sound kind of peculiar. You kind of sound like this shit that's going on right here. Like I said, I'm not trying to fearmonger nobody. I just think it's kind of weird. They brought this shit to Atlanta, Georgia, from Africa. One of the most deadliest diseases ever. I mean, 90% fatality rate. That shit is just bananas. I mean, it's past bananas. So like I said, I know this is a controversial subject, but like I said, I just want to get your take on it. What do you think about them bringing the two Americans here from over in Africa with one of the most deadliest diseases ever? And they have as of right now, they say it's not airborne, but they did say in the future, they never know. It may become airborne, especially in a place like Atlanta, in the CDC, where, yes, they have hundreds of diseases contained in the CDC, but at the same time, these are the same people who had anthrax controlled, and it ended up being an outbreak of anthrax within their, within the CDC. With some of the employees. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Like I said, it's something that if it does get out, if it is airborne and one of the nurses gets sick, or if it spreads somewhere in the hospital and one of the people, you know, getting on an airplane and they go to New York, I mean, it's just something that could turn into something really big and something really, really dangerous. As they said, stay prayed up, you know, always, because you never know when, you know, like I said, the devil is busy. And like I said, I know a lot of people are saying that the government has something to do with this. You know, they brought this over here as population control. I'm not going to go into those conspiracy theories and things like that. But like I said, the shit does seem kind of suspect that, you know, they would bring this shit over here instead of going over there, containing it where it was, even though they feel like it's no possibility that it's going to get out. Why not carry those damn resources over there? Like I said, this is one of the most deadliest diseases ever that has held, from my knowledge, from doing research, it has never been on U.S. soil. This is the first time. Like I said, this shit is very deadly. And over there in Africa, like this shit spreads like wildfire. Within the last month or so, like I said, it's been like 800 people that have died from this shit. So that just goes to show you the power that this particular disease has. I mean, these people are literally wearing like hazmat suits, not like those regular suits that you see, you know, the doctor and stuff put on when you just going to see a person who got pneumonia or something like that. You know, they might put on a little suit. No, these are like suits that people put on for like shit. If they going to detonate a bomb or some shit, you know, that type of damn shit. So this shit is pretty harsh. So I just want to know what y'all opinion on them bringing the two Americans here with the deadly Ebola virus that could possibly, keyword possibly, affect all of America if this stuff does become airborne and somebody within that hospital or something like that is exposed to this, and it could possibly kill off a whole lot of Americans if it is in fact spread. So I just want to know you guys' opinions on that. And always remember that we can agree to disagree. I understand that my opinion might not be the popular opinion. Like I said, I'm not saying that I don't think they should help these people, because I do think they should help them, because what they did was very selfless by going over there and helping the Africans try to control this Ebola virus. I think that was very selfless, and I do think that we should help them, but I think that we should have helped them over where the disease is, so it can be contained in a specific area, instead of, you know, possibly affecting hundreds of thousands of millions of more people over here in the United States, and possibly people in the United States taking it over to the UK and all these other different places. I mean, it can just turn into a really, really nasty situation. So leave your thoughts and everything in the comment box below. And until the next time, family, peace.